Welcome back. This is how we left off on the last video. I guess I hauled about 50 loads of sand, and now I'm gonna recover this thing. It's a big surprise to me that in this game when you recover, it's already loaded. I thought I might need a crane to reload it with, but I was wrong. I'll just leave that crane out though. I gotta find a good place to park it. I know in the real world, you'd put culverts underneath this sand before you poured it all out here, because when the water builds up behind it, it's gonna make a dam, and then it's gonna break over the top and wash it all back out. We're just gonna see how realistic this game is. I don't know when or where I'm gonna need this crane again, but I'm gonna leave it right here somewhere. Look at all of this sand I poured off camera. That parking lot is not included, but I poured the road all the way to it and out the other side. I may need to add some to it, but I have a little donut ring here where I went to get my sand from when I was filling in the giant ditch up here where I flipped at. I should have added 3 or 4 culverts underneath this sand. I'm just going to make one pass all the way down and try to turn that giant mound of sand into a ramp. I'm going to go around the rest of that sand pile and push it back the same way I pushed the first half of it. I'm going to park that dump truck somewhere besides in the middle of the road. I'll turn the other half of that sand pile into a ramp. That should be a good enough rope to bring a load of steel across. I'm just going to hit it one more time. Pave this road, but I don't know if that's necessary. Okay, let's see if we can stay on the wheels this time. It could have probably gotten across there the first time if I would have hit it the right way. but I didn't want to keep trying the same thing twice, so I just dumped a bunch of sand in there. And as you can see on the map, the sand quarry doesn't cover where I was dumping it at. It wasn't really a long distance, I just had to drive a lot. I need to get a bigger dump truck for sand. I know you gotta gain a few levels before you can unlock anything good. All of these areas that are within the quarry's reach, you can just dump sand and fill it back up and keep dumping it right where you're at. It doesn't really take a long time, but if you gotta drive for any length, it's gonna take a long time. That's why I don't show it on camera. Refill your sand after you get down past this first tree here on the left, this side of it. But I ended up having to put a few loads on this hillside here because it was starting to get slippery. This would be ready for asphalt if it had some type of drainage. I dumped a few loads of sand in the middle of this road and just left it. Objective complete, 1350 XP, 2540 cash. I gotta remark this failed route. Let's see how that does. We'll ride with them. don't know what went wrong that first time. It didn't have any trouble this time. Okay, we got all the rewards for that one. Now we gotta get some electricity. We gotta lay cable. I'm gonna take the dozer blade down there because I know I'm gonna need it. I can flatten out those piles of sand I left in the road on my way down. This rusty old equipment does good. I don't see much of a reason to upgrade it. Newer stuff is a little faster, I guess. I guess I need to dump a little bit of sand down there and flatten it out before I bring the cable layer. I don't know if this sand is going to wash away or not. We're just going to have to wait and see. I guess I really should have made a bridge here, but I didn't have anything but sand to work with at the time. I'm glad this game doesn't calculate damage. That would have been a bad one. When I was hauling sand from this side, I had to go and make this loop. You can get a load of sand after you get halfway around it. I'm going to fill this in from the road to the water, but I'm going to do it off camera. I had to throw a bucket of sand on each side of this concrete slab also. It might mess up the drainage, but it's going to keep us from flipping our trucks over. This is right beside of where I was dumping all of that other sand. And when I bring the dozer blade down, I can just come over and get this also. Look at that giant pile of scrap. Objective complete. 1548 feet, one metal beam.
Okay, the factory looks good to go for now. Once, you know, it has power. I'm sure you understand what needs to be done. But if we're doing it by the book, restore the power supply to the factory according to regulatory blah, blah, blah. You get the picture. So, here's the gist. Lay a cable from the power substation to the factory. And please don't get electrocuted. I don't need that on my report. Or my conscience.
I'll see if I can manage that. Let's go lay some cable. Sure don't get much of a view driving like this. You almost need a periscope. This thing has some agile turning. It moves just like a tank. Those big cable spools make a good table when they're empty. You can mount an anvil to it. This road here is ready for asphalt. Now that road I built all sand on will do me some good, because I'm going to lay the cable right down the middle of it, and I'll just smooth it back out with a dozer blade. I have a decent sized radius. I'll just go about halfway around that circle. Still gotta flatten this out with a dozer blade. I can't cross that with this. It's gotta be smoothed out. But burying this cable left a hump also, and I'll smooth it out as I go. This will be ready to pave. I'm going to flatten these two piles by this concrete slab. One more swap should do it for this. I'm just gonna knock these humps down. I engaged the cable layer when I bumped into it. I know it's making a whole lot of noise combined with this dozer. Okay, let's lay some cable. Contract completed. 970 XP, 1300 cash. 2 metal beams.
Good grief! You make it all look easy. With the new power cable, we'll have no trouble keeping this factory running. Great job. If we're to fix this whole area, we can never have too many materials. There's no point just sitting around while we wait for HQ to send us everything we need. Or for everything we need to just fall from the sky. Which, let's be honest, is more probable. I suggest you check out the steel pipes facility. It's close to the center of the operations area. If it's working, we'll be cutting out a lot of waiting time. Speaking of cutting out time, there's a stump mulcher that might be very helpful in clearing a path for you. It's in the truck's shack near the relay. Swing by there and pick it up.
Sure thing, boss lady. We already got all these rewards. I can cancel and delete it. I guess now we gotta find that stump grinder. Explore the steel pipe facility. One more facility that we'll need and work in order is the steel pipes facility, located closer to the central part of Eden. Survey its premises and give your professional opinion concerning its current condition. We're tracking. I don't know if it will erase it when I track something else. Yeah, you can only track one thing at a time. I guess I need to go try to find that stump grinder first. Get the stump mulcher near the relay. Navigating these rugged paths is no walk in the park. But here's a thought. A stump mulcher, a real workhorse that bulldozes through wood to turn thickets into clearing. We trust you wield it wisely in your operations. It's in the truck shack near the relay, geared up and ready for duty. Swing by there and pick it up. Objective complete. 1650 XP. The MTK 100M.
This factory isn't going to do us much good if it doesn't have any power. But all these tree stumps won't let you bring a power cable in. Aren't you glad you brought that mulcher? It's time to put it to good use, don't you think?
I would have to agree. Let's see where we need to take it to. That looks easy enough to find. Let's go get some practice in with this thing. You don't get a great view with this thing, but it's better than the cable layer. This is just a bulldozer with a stump grinder on it. This is our turn. We have stumps right here we need to grind. And it's gone. The tracks are way too small on this thing. I don't really want to climb. It might have more to do with that big piece sticking out in the front than it does the tracks. And it's gone. I think we got all of these. It's sinking up. I guess I should have poured some sand on this and graded it before I brought this out. It's not far, but I hope we can make it. Yeah, I really should have picked this road. It's trying to get stuck. It must have been a root, but it's gone now. That was difficult. It's a short distance, but it looks like rough mud. It does okay when you go around all the mud. It says we need to clear this area of stumps. I don't know how to get rid of that reminder. The regular way ain't working. Oh well, let's just go grind some stumps. It doesn't take long to get rid of a stump with this thing. I guess it's better to keep it engaged unless you get stuck. Don't leave a trace, not even wood chips. This place was covered in stumps. Looks like we have two more. Objective complete. 2650 XP, 5660 cash. I'm gonna have to build a road for the cable layer to come through. I'm gonna dump a whole bunch of sand off camera, and then I'll get back with you when I get to sand flattening mode. As you can tell, I dumped a lot of sand. Now we're gonna go flatten it. I guess I'm no longer a rookie because I had to turn the hints off. They were getting annoying. It's not a far distance, but it takes a long time when you got it in grader mode. Marching mode's a lot faster. At least I didn't have to travel far to get this sand. I just filled it up wherever I dumped it and just kept doing it. Might need to cut this tree up with a stump grinder. I don't know how that cable layer will react to it. I know it took me about a half an hour to dump all this sand. Maybe eventually we'll fix the road that we brought that stump grinder down. I just stopped here with the sand, but the cable layer can make it the rest of the way. We've made some decent roads, just need to put some asphalt over it. I don't think I will unless they ask for it. I'm gonna have to go chop up a couple trees before I bring the cable layer. This is a long road. A short distance seems like a long way when you're going so slow. I see the problem. I was driving with that thing engaged and it stays in low gear. Now we're rolling. You can't see tracking. I'm gonna try to cut some of these limbs out. I have one more tree to take care of. I could have dumped a whole lot more sand right here. I probably should. Look at that. The whole tree is gone. get this one too. I just got to move this enough for the cable layer to get through. This should be like a walk in the park with that new road. We can move forward a little. We're connected. Cannot break this surface delay cable. It's working now. It must have been a rock. This thing's throwing a lot of sand. I almost didn't use enough sand out here. I probably could have made this road a little straighter, but I was just following the original. We're at the intersection. We're just about there now. we didn't get electrocuted yet. I guess the recycle center is online now. Let's go see what it looks like. We gotta get to that white circle over there. I'll need a dozer to get in that. A lot of junk in the road. Objective complete. 950 XP.
Oh, for Pete's sake. This place is a complete and utter dump. I don't think you can do much until you clean this joint up. Might be an idea to get the larger hunks of trash, like that scrap metal, out of the way. At least there are some cranes that can help with that.
I'll get right on that, boss lady.